We have been friends with our next guest.
We're never mad when our next guest joins us.
I believe the first time we had him on was the first time he was playing the local comedy club here. I may be wrong on that, but Nate Bargatze joins us. Now, the world-renowned Nate Bargatze, and just to make him feel more at home, we made him walk through the rain to come into the studio today. Nate, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you. Keeping it real, dude. I'm soaking wet.
It sounds
unreal
awful out there.
Oh, it's wild, dude. It's we parked like across, and then it was like we jumped. So you jump down, and then the road is, inches of water. It's like a river. I dropped my phone in it, so we're gonna see what happens with that. I'm excited to see if that works.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
We were discussing right before you walked in, there are different levels and tiers to how you work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
And announcing the arena tour, and the fact, I was going to promote tickets are available. Tickets are not available. It's sold out on the 15th.
Yeah, it's wild, dude.
Is it difficult to wrap your mind around it, or is this at this point, is it like, man, the hard work paid off?
Yeah. Like you said, when I came on this show was years ago at Zany's. And so y'all have always been so great to me. And then, but now to do the Bridgestone show, it's tough. I know it's going to be a lot that night. There's going to be, because we're doing the show on the round and it's so many people. You always feel like an imposter thing where you don't know, even that moment you're going to be like, I don't know who are they here to see? You can't imagine it's you.
Is Chappelle here?
Yeah, you really do. You think, you're just like, well, I'm just,
Sandler's back.
Yeah, you're like, maybe he's here. Maybe someone's going to come out. So it seems insane that it is, that they're coming to see you. So I don't know. I think in the moment, you got to do a show and then you're going to but it'll be, luckily I'm off at my age. They booked me where I'm off that next week. We just knew how big this one was going to be. And when this one means the most to me, because when I started out, I moved to Chicago, then New York City, and I was handing out flyers. I would dream about being able to play Bridgestone, just like you let your mind daydream as I was out in 2-degree weather handing out flyers. And I don't even think you're going to get there. And, I've been doing this for 20 years now, so you don't even let yourself but you have your little daydream. So to be able to be doing it is wild.
Is it harder to connect with a huge audience when you're accustomed? You start out in the night in the clubs, you immediately can tell if you're dying or if you're killing on stage, right? Mm-hmm. But when it's that big, and you've already played some arenas on this tour, how does it change the connection with the audience in terms of feedback you're getting during your act?
Yeah, it is completely different. They're so far back. What I'm excited about Bridgestone is it's in the round. So it's almost for how big it's going to be. It's like I'm in the middle. So, no one's that far from you. Like when we just did where the Penguins play in Pittsburgh, the stage was all the way back of the hockey rink, and then the whole floor was full. So the people in the back they're pretty far away. But they make the sound we got the audio guys are so great. This creative audio that we use, so they make it where everybody can hear it. Everybody can, you can feel like you're there. I know they're watching on the screen. Doing these arenas, I want to continue. I like doing these arenas. Obviously, you like doing them, but theaters, you kind of end up, I think, doing a mix eventually where you could do an arena, then you come back and do theaters, or maybe I go to the Ryman next time and just kind of go back to a smaller setting just for what it is. But they make it feel great, and I think it's about the audience being together. It's, you want to be there and you laugh a lot when other people are around you laughing and everybody's having a good time. And so that's the show the show's going to be great. And then we have I'm not saying just me, my part's going to be pretty rough. You have to get through it. But I have the podcast guys on the show, my dad's on the show. And so the show's all of that, it just adds to it. And we just want everybody to have Nashville specifically is to have a little break, we've had so much going on just to be able to put everything away for a second and then have fun.
It is a show worth showing up early for and watching and taking and laughing all the way through. Nate Bargatze with us. The Be Funny Tour, it's not just in Nashville. It runs through November 11th. I believe you end in Vegas. NateBargatze.com. More than that.
Well, we're announced. It's going to be for the rest of my life. We have fall dates and stuff. But yeah, right now.
In 2026, when this tour ends.
Before it's canceled.
Once COVID picks back up, we're gonna go cancel again.
COVID Zeta, the Zeta variant of COVID.
Go to Nate's website for more information. The schedule there, NateBargatze.com.
You know, it's incredible. I love your podcast, Nate Land. I also listen to Fly on the Wall with Dana Carvey and David Spade. And it's interesting to hear about comedy. And I watch you on stage, and it all, I mean, I guess you're doing your job, but it looks very natural. But when you time things out and you're trying to stay on time, listening to Fly on the Wall, they were talking about there are times you go too fast or times where you extend it based on nerves or based on just what you're doing that night, and you get done and realize I only did 44 minutes. It's supposed to be 51, or it's supposed to be an hour, and it's 52. How often does that happen with you?
It happens a lot. I mean, it depends on the crowd. Like this at Bridgestone will be, you got to sit in it a little bit more. I know that's going to, you could throw in, honestly, you could probably guess 7 to 10 minutes just because I'm at home. Just like that's going to be just coming out and like leaving, and it's just going to be its own thing. So it's going to be at least a little bit longer. But when you go to some places, they can, it can be on a Sunday or something, and they just laugh quick. When I just went to Europe, and when I was in Amsterdam, they would laugh, but they laugh and then they stop very fast, like almost all together. So those are like a little bit tighter because you got to be like, oh, all right. There's not a roll going. And so sometimes you get a crowd like that where they're not a bad crowd, but it just feels a little tighter. And you're like, all right, I thought I had enough.
That normally works.
Yeah, well, you just know you're going to be like, sometimes like as I have a clock and you can see it, and you like I know if I'm at I know there's a part where if I'm at the wife material at this amount of time, I'm good. And sometimes you get there a little early and you're like, oh boy, you start just thinking about
stretch.
Yeah, you think about every new joke idea you have. You're like, oh, get something in there,
It's so many comedians are trying to. This is not I promise this is not a diss at you, but so many comedians are trying to say something. They're trying to like tell the audience something to think. And I feel like part of what you've mastered is you're there to make people laugh and just allow people to have a good time. And that's very different in comedy in a lot of circles, right? Like we talk about Top Gun Maverick being so successful because it didn't tell me to think about anything.
Yeah.
I just went there and I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. And the return of that story, it was great, right?
Great.
Is that something you think about when you're writing your comedy of, I just want people to laugh and I'm not really trying to say anything profound?
Yeah. I mean, I look at Top Gun is a perfect example. Look at Adam Sandler. I love when he was I came to the show and he was at Bridgestone, and then we got to hang out.
We were there as well. It was awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And it's just super fun.
We didn't hang out with him.
Yeah, we were not backstage.
Should have come back. But with Adam, it was like his whole world is like, I see it where I'm like, I want to try to do that, where you try to, it's just everything that he's going to make is just going to be fun. And like, you can be like, whatever you like, whatever movie, or you don't like this one, whatever. It's like, it's not about that. It's just about like being a good time and not being everything shouldn't be so heavy. And it is, I do think of it with comedy. And even like I've produced Mike Vecchione, another comic's got a special out on YouTube right now. But like his is like, it's like trying to create a world that's like, let's just have fun and be a break for these people. It's like, and it's hard to sometimes not, because you see other comics saying stuff or you doing stuff and you're like, well, maybe I should say so. So it's hard to kind of, remind yourself like, yo, dude, no one cares what I think. And I'm not saying I won't ever not say, like, I don't know what the future will be, but right now it's like you feel the most important job I can do is just to make sure you people come and have fun and their whole families can come and kids and grandparents are there and like just be an event. There's nothing people can watch together. I mean, I have a 10-year-old and we're just talking about like commercials are even getting tough where you're just sitting there where you're like, I'm just uncomfortable with a commercial. Not that it's like, you're trying to be a prude or anything, but you're like, I don't know, dude. It's just uncomfortable.
The horror movies that are shown, the previews for that. I've got a 7-year-old. I mean, how is this on network TV?
Yeah, you
on
just
a Tuesday night. It's scaring me to watch some of these previews for these scary movies.
Go check out NateBargatze.com for the Be Funny tour and the schedule. One fell swoop. Have you seen the responses on Instagram to the clip?
on one fell swoop.
Yeah, on the story. So without giving the joke away, can you?
Yeah.
Give
Well,
us
that joke's already out.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So you're not going to do it again?
No, that joke. Well, the one fell swoop joke.
I'm messing with you.
Oh,
yeah. So the one fell swoop.
Yeah.
Your wife said something that you knew did not fall in line with what the meaning of one fell swoop.
Yeah.
So the responses on here with the video clip are other versions of that for couples.
Oh.
You've got to check this out. So a woman says, my husband keeps
This is
using
your next act.
Yeah.
Just all these responses.
My husband keeps using it's a scientific fact in every argument without proof of facts. It makes me rage. All of a sudden, my wife is starting to use the word lovely 27 years into marriage. I get enraged when my wife says I could care less, which means you actually care some. And I beg the difference. Different sayings. I'm at my end's wit instead of the other way around. You've caught on to something
I like
here.
it. Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny when that came with that joke? It's like I don't even think about it like that. Where I'm going, you don't think of it. I'm just talking about like what happened in our thing, and so I don't think about like like them, people saying stuff weird. But then I like that people are like, oh yeah,
They can relate to it even if they don't know the exact
yeah,
phrase.
yeah, they have their own thing.
Yeah,
and that's great. That's awesome. I did not know that.
From someone who's done Netflix specials, Prime Video specials, where it's recorded, but they're recording for Netflix or Prime Video, what did you think when you watched Chris Rock do the first ever live event on Netflix, and what might be going through his head as he goes live on Netflix for Selective Outrage?
I was like, I opened for Chris, and so I like that live aspect of it. I mean, I would love to do one live just because it's there's no editing, there's no anything. You're like, let me just go out there and just do it because you do it every night, and you just want to be able to put it out and you take shows. So I mean, I can imagine. I know it's like you're probably overthinking a lot, and that was such a big. They did a lot before it and a lot after it. There was a lot of stuff with that one, and so like that build up is going to be tough. Because you're almost having to.
What do you mean by they did a lot before and after? Chris Rock did with a stand-up special?
No,
or Netflix?
they did. Netflix did a lot of stuff before.
So you opened that night?
No.
Okay.
Netflix did
I was like, why didn't we see that also? I know they had the pre-show and the post-show.
Yeah,
David Spade and Dana Carvey were on it. The post-show, yeah.
Yeah, the post-show.
That part of it. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
And so before the show, Ronnie Chang, very funny comic, but he was hosting something too before. So they had this big build-up where it was, like maybe an hour before he even came. It was almost like, I would imagine as a comic, you're just like, yo, dude, let me just go, like, people turn it on and I get to walk out there and do it. Like, it felt, you'd be scared about, but he did a great job, but you'd be nervous about following that and all that stuff. And it was, but it was great. He did a good job. And he had, went after Will Smith. That's what everybody wanted to see. And,
oh, yeah. Did you enjoy opening for him when you got a chance to do it?
Yeah. I mean, he's like probably one of the best ever to do it. And when you're with him, he just wants to hang out with comics. Like, so you just feel like you're like, you can just talk to him about comedy and just like, it's just fun and funny. And it's just hanging out with another comic. And that's what I like, guys that like love stand up. So like the guy, Jay Leno's that. Jay Leno, after a special, he texts me or call me just to be like, him and his wife watched it because I love what you're doing. Like, he just calls. He's like, we're doing these corporate shows. Like, I mean, you just start talking to him like I talked to, like, Dan Soder, like my buddy I started with. And you're just talking to Jay Leno. And you're like, this is crazy, dude. Or I love guys that love comedy and they stick with it the whole time. And, it's amazing.
Nate Bargatze, man, it's great to see a great person have big success. He falls in line there.
Absolutely.
For sure. Again, natebargatze.com for details on the tour, or you can currently find tickets to the April 15th show on the secondary market because the arena is sold out here in Nashville, but the tour is across the country. Congrats, man.
Tour's wide open. If everybody goes.
Here's how
the other date's wide open.
If you're watching anywhere else, you can get tickets. Not here in Nashville this weekend.
I knew it was a different level when I heard from marketing and management in Nate's route to today with the interview instead of just a text back and forth.
Well, you can always text me back and
I know.
forth. I had to go do something. You were texting my wife. So,
Oh, yeah,
it's very personal. We
Yeah.
like ours is like my sister's working with me now, so you're still getting to a Bargatze.
I don't even know who to text anymore. I was texting your old high school buddy at
We're
one
texting
point
Ron.
that was
Dude,
managing
Kenny.
you. Yeah, and then
Travis?
Well, Kenny also, but no, Travis. Yeah,
Yeah,
And I don't
Travis.
even know if he still works for you. May I
No,
fired
no.
him already? No,
He's not yet. Just after Bridgestone, I'm gonna fire. No, Travis does great. Travis, we all went to Dawson Christian, and so you can always text Travis, and he
My
can always
daughter will
hook
be
you up.
going to that school next year, by the way.
Oh yeah,
moving
all
schools, yeah.
right.
There
It's
you
a
go.
great school.
Nate's leaving.
Kenny, our buddy Kenny Clayton, he's doing NIL for your Tennessee Vols.
Your enemy.
I know. He keeps. I'll give him a shout out. I love Kenny, and they're doing a great job. Whatever they're doing, all the NIL stuff, and
Yep.
and
They're doing
he's
all
very
of it.
passionate about it. I wish it was for Vandy, but I'm
Spire
happy.
Very
Sports,
successful.
I'm happy for Kenny.
Happy for you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
and,
you too,
We'll be
guys.
at the show. We'll
All
can't
right,
wait to
man.
see it.
Oh, awesome. Text me at the show. I won't respond that night.
Can you get us in
Yeah.
to see Sandler next time?
Yeah, I know. Next time I need
That's
to.
that's the key.
That's when
ask.
y'all come back to see you after the show, and y'all just are like, "Hey, where was Sandler's
Yeah, where
room?"
were you hanging out with Sandler
I'm
back
like,
here?
"Dadgummit, guys."
Was this where Kevin James said that night?
Yeah.
NateBargatze.com for details.
One of the best.
All the best to Nate Bargatze, our guest.